Hi everyone, welcome back to Gracie's Garden. I'm in Florida Zone 9B, and today we are going to plant up some bromeliads on the side of the house in a shady spot. And we are also going to move a vine I recently planted. It's getting too much sun and not doing too well, so we're going to move that around and plant something in its place. So let me show you the bromeliads. I've had these bromeliads for quite a while, and I think it's time to finally get them in the ground. So the first one is this. I don't know the names of any of them. So it has pretty purple flowers there. And this was the mother plant, and then it shut off this baby. And it is just, well, first of all, it's filled with snails. I can't get rid of snails in Florida. But, so we're going to get that planted. And I'm going to plant both of them in case it throws off any more babies, but this one probably won't make it much longer. So we're going to plant that. And the next one we're going to plant is this. And it is also getting ready to bloom, but it should do okay. Bromeliads don't really go into shock. They usually do pretty good as long as you keep watering them. And the next one is this. This is just a whole mess of little babies. I think this might be the mother plant here. And I put out these flowers here that's red. And this is kind of gross, but there's a shell of a cicada. We don't really get those too much here in Florida. They come in, but not too much. So, yeah. So we're going to go ahead and get this one planted. And the last one is this one. It is not looking too good. It's not in a pot. I think I garbage picked this one. Somebody was throwing it out alongside the road. I thought, let me take it home and see what I can do with it. They had these in their yard, the people I got it from, and they had these giant spikes of flowers. I mean, just probably 2 or 3 foot high, of like these orangey type, orange red type flowers. So I thought I'll give that a try. And in the place of the vine, which I'll show you in a minute, we're going to plant this plumeria. When I got this, it was a stick maybe this tall. You couldn't even see it out of the bucket. It was so small. And it's really put on a lot of growth. This is my first time growing one of these, so I don't know what color flower it is. The Girl Scouts were having a plant sale at the farmer's market, I think 2 years ago, and I purchased this then. So they didn't know the color of it then. It was just like donated plants. So we are going to plant that. Looks like a new leaf coming out there. And we're going to plant that in the place of the vine. So this here on this trellis is the Mexican sunflower vine. It's just getting burnt in the sun. It's direct sun. It gets more sun back here than I thought it was going to. In the afternoon, this whole area is just covered in sun. I've been watering it for over a week, and it is just burning and burning. So I'm going to take it out of there, and I'm just going to simply plant it over on this side where it gets a lot more shade from the tree that's behind me. And I'm going to plant that plumeria right there. Everything else is doing okay. It's starting to get really hot, like it's been 98 degrees all week. So I think it just needs more water and a little bit more shade than I'm giving it. So this is the area where we planted the expired seeds last week, or last video. So none of the seeds have really come up yet, but the potatoes have all come up. Don't know if you can see it, but each of the sticks that's along here, each of these little sticks, and there is a potato plant there coming up. So there's 6 sticks and they all have potato plants. I'll have to say I'm really kind of impressed that they're coming up. I've never actually grown potatoes, so this is an experiment for me. Wasn't even sure it was the right time of season. I did no research, but they had to get planted, so I did. So, and then these other 2 plants here we're going to plant as well. They've been here about a week just sitting in their pots, and they're not doing too well either. They're getting burnt. So I'm going to plant them on the side of the house where we're planting the bromeliads. So let me show you that area. So this is the side entrance. This is all firecracker plant here, all this red that leads in. Here's the gate. There's no gate, but this is where it leads in to the backyard. And this is where we're going to plant them. So I do have to trim back these trees here. They're crepe myrtle. I've been trying to get rid of them, but I'm going to cut those back as best I can. And then I'm going to weed whack in here and drag out some more trees, just like little starter trees, and plant the bromeliads in here. This gets a lot of filtered sun over here. So these are also bromeliads that a neighbor gave me, so we're going to plant those. I just thrown them in here and they kind of took off. And then back here is the $4 ferns we got on clearance last year. So those just need a little bit more breathing room. These trees here are the Chinese rain tree that I've been trying to get rid of forever. So just gonna plant them in here, like I said, filtered sun, and I think they will do really well over here. My intention is eventually with this, where the entrance to the fences is, to just kind of make it stones or pebbles or maybe wood chips all through there, to try to get that a little pathway going through there. But yeah, this is where we're going to work on first. I'm going to get out the weed whacker and just kind of break these branches off and try to get it cleaned up a little bit and get everything planted. So let's get started. Okay, so we're planting the bromeliads, and this is what I uncovered in one of the pots. It is covered in like fabric, landscape fabric, and it is severely root bound. Why they wrapped it so tightly in this, I have to say I don't really know. And it is everywhere, around the whole entire side, the bottom, and on the top. And the roots have grown up outside of the fabric. And there is just landscape fabric all over it. So what I end up doing is just taking it and getting off as much of the fabric as I could, and just making these little slits inside. And as you can see, it's pretty much all perlite and some kind of maybe loose soil, maybe a cactus soil in there. So I'm just kind of going to leave it. I made slits all the way around, so hopefully that will allow this to root into the ground a little bit better, but hopefully we'll see. Okay, so this is what I got done in this little garden. I have one of the ornamental gingers planted. The other one, I think this one back here, I think I'm going to plant in the front yard. The beautyberry, the azalea. And then I decided to go ahead and leave the Mexican vine, sunflower vine, for right now. Maybe it's just in shock. So I went ahead and planted the plumeria in front of it, and maybe that will give it some shade. But everything else is looking pretty good in here. I do have to mulch. I bought the mulch finally, and just have to put it back in this area. And then another little happiness here is that the devil's trumpet and the Jimson weed here, both of the seed pods on there are ready to harvest. So I'll be able to harvest those seeds and get those potted up. So we'll have plenty more of those. There's a lot of seeds, so I think a few of them I'm going to harvest, and the others I'll just let fall naturally and see what happens. And then the lantana back here has bloomed, and it's yellow, solid yellow. Usually it's a mixture of colors, but so far it's only yellow. So that is good. And the pagoda plant behind it, the reddish orange there, is blooming. So everything's looking pretty good in this garden. Okay, so in this garden, the side of the house garden, I did get the bromeliads planted. So there's all of them. And I took the big one that was here that I had just tossed there, and I leaned it up against the fence. I'm hoping that it will climb up the fence. They do that sometimes. I have one neighbor that has one that's climbing up her fence, and it looks really nice. So hopefully that will take off there. But everything looks pretty good. And this fern back here, I found the tag for it. It's called macho fern. So, which I think is cute. But So it is all weeded out for the most part. And then I found a wayward lantana that's self-seeded over here. They kind of do that in Florida. They just kind of pop up. I hit it with the weed whacker before I realized what it was, so I don't know what color it is, and only half of it is there. So, but otherwise it's doing pretty good. You know, you can't kill lantana. It just does its thing. So, but yeah, that is it for right now. I think it looks pretty good, and I found one more bromeliad we're going to plant over here as well. Oh, so I'm sorry, I got attacked by a bee, but the other bromeliad I think we'll plant in a future video. It has a lot of ants and those roly-poly bugs. I'm not real sure what their official name is for those bugs, but that's what we always called them. So we'll plant that, I think, in a future video. And yeah, so just thought I'd show you the sunflower plant in bloom. It's doing pretty good. We've had a lot of heat in Florida this week. We have wildfires going on in the next city over, so no rain, but hopefully we'll get some soon. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do is unbox this plant. It says online orchard. So I purchased this off the Home Depot website. I could not find it in the store or any place local to me here in Florida that sold this plant. I'll have to say I saw it on, I grabbed a plastic knife to cut it because I couldn't find a real knife and it's not working. Oh, there it goes. But I saw this in another YouTuber's garden, and I went on the website she had mentioned, and they will ship to my area, but they don't guarantee the plant because it's not for my zone. So I just happened to be looking around on the Home Depot website, and it says zone 7 through 9. So, and I'm in zone 9. So, ooh, I don't know which way I should do this. Just a minute. Okay, I got it out. They packaged this well. This is just a tight box. So this is, I forget the name of this plant, to be honest with you. Let's see. Okay, so it's called a 9-bark. So this is it. Kind of has a deep purpley type leaf. And here is a flower on it. But it was a gigantic plant in this lady's yard. All these become long, floppy, like branches, and I don't know, just long branches that just kind of flop over, and then the whole branch would be covered in those little white flowers and these little bunches of flowers. I just thought it was beautiful. Like I said, I found one that was for my zone. We are going to plant this up today. It is very root bound, so I want to get this in the ground right away. It didn't really come with any care instructions. It came with a brochure that's just kind of generic. It talks about all different types of plants and shrubs and things like that, but nothing really pertaining to this plant. So I did all my research online for it, so I'll show you where we're going to plant this. I had a plant that died, so we're going to put this in its place. Okay, so this is the shrub that died, and it never rooted in. I am just going to take this and put this in my compost pile, and if it takes off, it takes off. It sat in a pot for way too long, and I think that's what the problem was. So, and it's been here for about 4 or 5 months now, and it's just never done anything. So it is done with, and this is the hole we're going to plant the 9-bark in. Okay, so here is the 9-bark. I got it planted and watered in. It is very bright outside. So this is the next morning, actually, and I've watered it, and the leaves have really perked up, so it did ship very well. It came all the way from Washington State to Florida, so I'm quite happy with it. I mean, it looks okay. The leaves plumped right back up, and everything looks good, so hopefully in today's heat it will do well. Over here I do have some jasmine. It is looking very sad, and it's not climbing up the fence as much as I would like, but it is there. And then here we have the Arctic snowbush, which we planted a few videos ago. It's not looking so good. I think it's just getting way too much sun. Even though the tag said to plant in, part sun. Maybe I should move it. So I think that we'll do that in a future video. It is just getting burnt. But it's going pretty good otherwise. And not to show you my neighbor's yard, I'm trying not to show their house, but they planted a whole mess of fruit trees in their yard, and then they put nets over them. Well, anyways, hopefully my neighbors are the type of people that will share some fruit. I have a mango going, so hopefully we could swap. I'm not sure what they planted yet. I haven't seen them outside, so hopefully that will go well for them. Anyways, I'll show you the pink princess. Look at that little leaf. Some of the leaves are coming out green, but then others are still coming out with a little bit of pink variegation on it. I've got some grass growing in there too, but we'll ignore that. Alright everyone, that is it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please don't forget to hit like and comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.